Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Today, we're going to talk about observability and particularly observability with your DevOps value stream. I am Carl Kong, product manager here at Sumo. I have about 15 years experience with IT operations with a history of software delivery and product development and DevOps automation. With me, I have Ian. Ian?
Yeah, thanks, Carl. So I've been around software tools for a very long time at multiple software development companies. And now I use that expertise as a partner engineer. So I help companies like Sumo Logic build integration to Atlassian. I get to apply both technical knowledge of Atlassian's APIs, but also a deep understanding of the industry. I've been an advocate for Agile and DevOps for quite some time.
Great. So both Ian and I, as we talk to customers, there are some evergreen challenges and evergreen things that are just that we just keep hearing. And one is that security is a must. Like your applications, your business, everything about you, about your operations and the software and value you deliver to your customer needs to be secure. And that needs to be built into every single thing that you do, from code commit all the way to delivery and operations. It also needs to be better. We live in a world now where not only does your software and the services that you deliver to your customers need to be hardened, but they actually need to work. And you need to make sure that you are delivering quality software consistently, and that it's happening faster, which brings us to the next challenge. Business is only speeding up. As we talk to customers, they're always being pushed to move faster, to be able to deliver more and keep the lights on at the same time. And in order to do that, we hear the fourth trend, which is it needs to be stronger. Your teams need to work better together. It is more and more imperative that your teams operate at speed and collaboratively so that they can deliver the value and innovation to your customers as quickly as possible with the right quality and the right security level. And that, I think, is what DevOps has really been all about, right? Getting that collaboration to deliver the right value at the right speed and with the right consistency and security. So as we talk about DevOps, I hear a lot of people talking about the dev and the ops, right? That's where it all began, breaking down that silo between the developers and the operations. That's my background, that's my home. However, as we start to look at the entire development process, you realize it's not just about the IT. It's not just about diving into that build and test, that release deploy phases. In order for your business to be able to deliver the right value to your customers, you have to look at the process end to end. You have to look at from the beginning of planning the work to designing it, to developing it, to building it, to validating it, releasing it, and then operating it. And all of these things require different actors, all of these different responsibilities that need to come together and work as a never-ending continuous system to deliver the right value at the right time to the right customers. But that's hard, right? It's not as simple as drawing a pretty arrow and putting boxes with owners across them and saying, we just need to do that. Because the reality of your day-to-day for each of these different, the different personas in this delivery process is that you have a lot of things you need to manage, a lot of tools that you need to work with, and a lot of things, a lot of data that needs to come together in order for all of this to be able to be realized so that you can measure and continuously improve your process. But I think it's also, really about people. And Ian, you want to kind of talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I see it both as a people issue. We see this kind of organizational challenge where there's a history, right? Okay, so we want to look across all of these different parts of the organization, but a lot of companies aren't set up to do that very well. And where Atlassian sits is really down at the level of tools that were historically built for those kinds of silos. So, our view is from kind of the inside of the trenches, and we're from that perspective, we definitely see this problem of assembling the tool chain that is also manifest at the level of the teams. And so what's really emerging, I think, right now in the industry is a kind of configuration management problem, not just about the infrastructure and the things that you operate, which have some really cool solutions out there, but in the tool chain itself that is used to deliver those products.
Absolutely. So inactivity is a big one here. And actually, Ian, you were telling me a lot about this. Do you kind of want to dive into this one?
Yeah, let's take an idea out of the lean manufacturing playbook. There's a concept there called the lean lead time ladder, and it's a way of understanding how where things are spending their time in a value stream. So if you back up and understand the wait times of activities, so if we kind of put time on the different activities that are going along here, like commits and builds and packaging, we can see those often within the tools themselves. But where things get really interesting is when we start to look at the times that are between the handoffs. This is where things are crossing tool boundaries, or even worse, team boundaries. And that's why these things often dwarf the kinds of times that you're spending in the little cycles. So if you have tests that run for 5 minutes, well, of course that sounds great from an automation perspective, but if you're taking 2 days to hand that off, then it doesn't matter that you're spending 480 minutes in staging. That's really quick, but it's all this wait time on both sides that is really going to kill you. So instrumenting the pipeline is where things get really interesting, because now you have a way to understand what is happening there. You have more objective ways to talk about it, both as a team and from a higher level organization, so that your retrospectives and your experiments are less about some kind of subjective feeling of, oh yes, this process feels better. But no, you can actually see that the changes flowing through the pipeline are going faster.
Great. So as customers are really starting to adopt these ideas and start to think end to end about all the tools and how they come together to create a system, one of the things that has come out of the industry, particularly from Dora, the DevOps research team now at Google, they came up with a series of metrics that clearly indicate whether or not you are doing this well and what the benefits and how much better you can be than your peers at this. So one thing is code deployments. How many times can you deploy code? And what the frequency is on a given cadence. And what they found is that the elite performers can deploy code 208 times more frequently than lower performers. 208, like that is not a small number. 106 times faster. They can deploy from commit to customer hands 106 times faster than low performers. They can fix breaking change, or they deploy breaking changes 7 times fewer than the lower performers, and they can recover from incidents, is my favorite one, 2,600 times faster. And if you put this in terms of your business and your ability to deliver quality service to your customers, these numbers are huge. That puts you at a competitive advantage if you are in this elite, status. And if you're not in this elite status, someone else might be, and they may put you out of business, right? That puts risk to you to stay in business in this incredibly fast-moving market. So these metrics become really, really important. And that's exactly why at Sumo, we built software development optimization. What the solution does is it pulls in data from all of the different tools that we were talking about earlier and enriches them, normalizes them, and then correlates them. And what we can give you out of the box are all of those Dora metrics to help you understand exactly where you sit in the low to elite status and where you need to focus your effort to improve your overall delivery process. The benefits to doing this is you get the faster release velocity, you get improved reliability and security, and my personal favorite, you get to understand where your collaboration is really falling down. Where are those relationships within your organization that you need to go focus on in order to improve so that you can get better and better at this continuously? Go ahead.
Yeah, and Carl, I think one of the things that really drives this home is that the kind of correlation that we can do through Sumo Logic's new SDO approach here is really backed by some very important human practices. Things like observability don't just apply in production anymore. They're things that we want to bring back into the development lifecycle. So here is a pattern that I think a lot of teams know. If they create a branch and put their issue key in that branch, then it's things that you can tie. You can tie your code changes, you can tie your builds, you can tie your deployments all back to one issue and see how these things flow as a whole. So this convention is good for human beings so that they know the reasons that they're doing the work, and they're good for these machine reasons like being able to see it in the SDO dashboard.
So we're happy to announce this integration with Jira. So not only did we build software development optimization, we now have a Jira app that gives you all of these measurements and allows you to deep dive into how your actual delivery process is performing over time and across all of the different applications and services that make up your business directly in Jira. So you get all of these great visualizations, you can identify bottlenecks, and you can then jump off into a greater observability context to get more understanding of how the applications are actually performing. This is available in the Jira, the Atlassian marketplace. You can go get started there. You can sign up today to get that early access. The initial marketplace application right now is really just an explainer of what's possible. If you go to this URL that you see here, we can get you signed up for that early access and get you going. So thank you for your time. I hope that you are as excited about this as we are.